But meanwhile, over at Comedy Central, they had the other program. And the way they started this off, AEW, Brian, came that close. You can't see, but I'm holding my thumb and my index finger very, very close together. That close to almost getting the coveted Jim Cornette grade of 100, A+, perfect segment. And they fucked it up.
I'm going to guess the thumbtacks are what fucked it up for you, because I know that's what fucked it up for me. But, we'll talk about it in a second, but beyond that, I loved this opening segment. This was the best thing Cody's done in a very long time. And Eddie Kingston is someone who I've been high on. I remember when you first got to Ring of Honor, I told you, this guy's great. He throws a great punch. I wonder if he could talk.
Yeah, and remember when once I heard him talk, we put him in the angle with Steen and gave him a pay-per-view match, or an internet pay-per-view match. Same. I don't know if that's one that was even on the air or not. He was with Chikara just because Kingston, he lives in New York, New Jersey, and so he was with Chikara, and it stood out like a screen door on a submarine. A great old-fashioned, he made a beautiful territory wrestler, either babyface, gimmick babyface, or heel. But a guy like this in the middle of all that Chikara bullshit, he was the one that we could fucking do something with. And again, in the NWA, he cuts promos and he sounds like he looks, and he looks like he should look and sound if he was who he really purports himself to be. And the story's easy to tell. That Jim Ross did an excellent job in this match telling the story. But he had to sell his boots for pay his mortgage. He's 18 years. This may be his last chance. He's going to give it all he's got. JR's great at stuff like that. Kingston, he's a New York version of the Dream Machine. Like when Dream come out that time on Memphis TV and say, you know who I am. I hang out in places where people get cut and shot. And that was true. And with Kingston, the whole fucking street guy thing. And he would have been a perfect territory wrestler. And he looks like shit physically, and it works because he looks like a big grown guy that has bar fights, but he's got pale arms and a big belly, and it works. And he talks as soon as they went straight into the ring introductions. Cody's already in the ring, and they had teased they're going to have a top independent star. I didn't know who it was, but then when Kingston walks out, from the start, he had the microphone. He had a mean voice. He had a real sound to him. He took over the room. He took over the interview and the microphone. He was a shut up. This is my time now. He wasn't fucking out there shitting himself or, like some of these guys talking about, oh, it's been my dream to be here. Like all the guys in the WWE, it's been my childhood dream to be here and entertain you people. No, Eddie Kingston said, I came here to kick somebody's ass and make some fucking money. That was perfect. And then he asked for no DQ. And then they do a jump start and go right to the floor. And here is where it worked. This is where that works. Start 100 miles an hour, brawl to the floor. If every match didn't do it, imagine when one where it's actually necessary and called for and works like this, imagine how much better it would have been when you didn't see it all the time. Cody did a dive that actually worked because it looked like he was mad and diving off on the guy, and a big fucking punch. That worked. You could tell there was a clear babyface and heel in this. Clear babyface and heel. Cody gets a big comeback, and then as he takes his weight belt off, like dropping Lawler's strap in Memphis, Kingston gets the belt and whips him with it. And they're back and forth, and what a fight. Then they slow it down in the middle, just like every classic match, with a chin lock so Cody can fight from underneath, so they can settle him down a little bit, so that then they can pick it back up again. Kingston's heeling on him, kept on top of him. Cody did everything that he should have to get Eddie Kingston over as a new talent, a new force, and Kingston carried the ball. And then here comes the bag of thumbtacks. I will explain. Of all the stupid things that have become commonplace in wrestling over the last 20 or 25 years, I think the thumbtacks are the absolute stupidest. It spoiled it. It's freak show bullshit. It took the attention off Eddie Kingston trying to win a championship and possibly win a contract with a sports organization. And they've had this nice fight where all their shit was good and snug and it made sense. And then the thumbtacks. You can't win a match with thumbtacks. You cannot beat anyone with thumbtacks. You can only throw them in the thumbtacks and then they roll around like these garbage deathmatch freak show wrestlers for the appealing to the lowest common denominator of a bunch of guys who are going to say, oh, ow, that really hurts, because it does really hurt. You can't work it. It's going to hurt, but it cannot incapacitate anyone to where they would lose a fight or a match or a contest. It's just freak show, outlaw, stupid shit to get the fucking crowd that likes to watch people fall off skateboards to go, ooh. It's always been stupid. It was stupid when Mick Foley did it. It's stupid now. Great people can do stupid things. And this has always been stupid. And it just looks so cheap and low rent. So then, of course, Eddie Kingston powerbombs Cody into the tacks. He powerbombs him into the tacks and fucking goes do something else. And Cody gets up and goes nuts and just fucking bowls over Eddie Kingston, boom, and gets the figure four and boom, tap. 1, 2, not 1, 2, 3, but tap. Done. I was like, what the fuck? If they'd have done the same match, everything they did, but no tacks, just let Kingston get one good, impressive, close as a cunt hair near fall, and then do something that Cody reverses and goes into a figure four, and there's your finish, and it would have been so much more effective. It would have been a classic debut for a new talent. This was a great match with the perfect length. They didn't overstay their welcome, but they gave it plenty of time. If they could have just resisted the urge to be so stupid and outlaw and low rent and local and taken the thumbtacks out and just told their physical story, done the same exact thing, it would have been perfect. I couldn't believe it. They were almost there, Brian.
I'll tell you, I love this segment other than the thumbtacks. I'm not a fan of that. I had a thumbtack go into my knee during a siesta. Fiesta, excuse me, in 7th grade Spanish. I was about to say,
where are you sleeping?
No, well, this is why I failed Spanish. But during a 7th grade Spanish class, Senora Arias, and it was painful for a second, but it wasn't something that I saw like, oh my God, what if wrestlers started rolling around in this? That would be amazing. I hate the thumbtacks, but I hope they sign Eddie Kingston. Fantastic promo, believable promo when he told Arn Anderson, I swear on my mother's eyes, I'll take your eye out. You believe him? You believe him? I thought he brought out the best in Cody. Cody didn't treat it like, okay, here's another guy I'm going to wrestle. You know, I see some of the criticism for Cody where people compare him to Triple H, where it's basically, I'm taking all the top indie guys and I'm going to beat them on TV. I didn't really see this as that. I saw this as the best of Cody, and it brought out the fire in Cody.
And imagine if the fucking comedy bullshit guys like Sonny Kiss and whoever had not already taken Cody 20 minutes. Imagine this would have had even more impact, which is what we were talking about last week. The reason why new unknown talent gets over by taking a established main event guy to the limit is because it hardly ever happens. But when it happens every week, this was special. It could have been even more special, which is what we're talking about when we say you don't book week to week. You do if you're a mark. If you're a fan that's gotten the opportunity to become a booker, that's what you do. But if you know anything about the business and what you're trying to do, in your mind, you're booking for months down the road because you have to build your business and keep it. You can't go 100 miles an hour forever, always. So you start out when you got a guy like Cody. Nobody comes close to him on TV for the first 6 months or what. And then you have a match like this, and then everybody's going, holy shit, he almost took Cody. That never happens. That's how it gets over. It doesn't get over if you do it every fucking week.
AEW always does something stupid or something unnecessary, so that's baked into the cake. So with that said, I give this segment an A. I thought this was great.
Yeah. If it just not done the thumbtacks. But anyway, but yes, this was, as a matter of fact, if this had been the first segment of the first AEW television program I ever saw, I'd say, holy shit, this shit's as good as fucking Mid-South Wrestling. But unfortunately, they've had a different first impression.